Hi, I'm Shelley Maurer,
And I'm Cher Emmerich. Welcome to Life Lessons from Pickleball,
where we engage with pickleball players from around the world about life on and off the court.
Thanks for joining us. Welcome, everyone, to Life Lessons from Pickleball. And we've got some exciting news. So before we introduce our guest, we wanted to let you know that we have just reached 2,500 downloads.
Very good.
And we thank you, our amazing listeners, for being a part of this journey with us. Your support, your likes, your shares, and your love for the game keep us inspired to bring you more life lessons from pickleball. Thank you so much. And today, how grateful are we to have with us Pablo Granados. Pablo, you are originally from Costa Rica, but currently living in Lake Stevens, Washington, as General Manager and Tournament Director at Pickleball Kingdom.
Pablo, before we hear about your work with Pickleball Kingdom, you have quite a personal journey to share. Why don't you start by telling us when and why you left Costa Rica?
Well, let's see how many. It's only 30 minutes, but we'll try to put it in there, right? My life. It's. I think I'm going to do a book eventually. That's what my kids keep telling me. I have too many stories. But
Awesome.
no, I grew up. So growing up in Costa Rica, right? Our life was soccer from the beginning, right? My first gift was a soccer ball, right? I mean, hard to hide that under the Christmas tree, right? I'm from a generation of a lot of really, really good players in Costa Rica. So unfortunately, it was great, right? Growing up with all these athletes, but obviously I had to work a little harder. Funniest thing, I didn't even make the soccer team in my high school. I had to go to high school, right? Because I was still 15. I didn't even make the team. So I was a little disappointed. Oh. But when I was about 15, I had a great opportunity to come and play a soccer tournament in Dallas, Texas. It opened a lot of opportunities for me to go to other countries. I ended up going to Europe, Norway, and Germany a little bit, and Netherlands. Meet different people, expand my horizons, and just see the world, right? Which it was the first one in my family, so it was great, right?
Wow.
Unfortunately, I think a very improper foundation of muscle building and stuff like that led to a couple of bad injuries.
Oh.
And soccer got cut short a little bit. So I ended up going to Costa Rica. One of the hardest things about being outside of your country, especially when we grow up so close together, is that when you have a headache or you have a stomach ache or anything hurts or anything doesn't feel great, you think about your family, right? And
for sure,
they are thousands of miles away, and it's not easy to get there, right? So it's almost like dealing with it. But I remember I came back to my country, and I was ready to recover. I went to the hospital because I had a stomach ache, and the doctor thought that it was appendicitis or something. They ended up opening me up. They opened me up. The doctor apparently said, "Oh, it's not that, but let's get rid of it because you don't need it for anything, right?" That turned into I guess there was my intestine. They kind of clipped it, so it was open.
Oh.
And it led to, I don't remember a lot of the things. I remember just my mom saying that, at some point they say that I was gone, that the doctor had called it. And
they thought you were dead? They thought you were dying?
Yeah. No, apparently one of the doctors said that I was already dead.
That you had died. Pablo.
That I had died. I know.
Wow.
And my mom said that there was another doctor who wasn't even supposed to be there. And he was like, "Hey, let me give him a chance. Let me give him a chance, right?" And I don't know really what happened because I was underage and my mom has never really released a lot of information. She doesn't like to go back to that stuff. But the reason why I always bring up that story is because there's always been the right person at the right time for me, and that jump into pickleball too, right? So I ended up coming to the United States, and I went from an athlete of, 200 pounds to 330 pounds in, a year and a half or 2 years maybe.
Wow. Now, was this after your surgery where they thought you had died?
Yeah,
Or is it,
that was
yeah.
that was when I was about 20 to 22 is when I gained most of my weight,
Okay.
and it was in a I was in a really bad place. When you are an athlete, I mean, professional
Hmm.
pickleballers don't know it too, right? You eat a lot, but
Yes.
you exercise a lot, right? I was
Yeah.
eating
Right.
a lot and I wasn't exercising at all. So obviously, I had to go somewhere, and it became a lifestyle, right? It became eating and working and eating and working and video games. I At that point I was not married yet with my first wife. Um, Eventually, I met her. We had our baby daughter Isabella, and the things of life, sometimes things don't work out. I had my family that used to live in Salt Lake, they had moved to Washington. Um, so I ended up coming to visit. I decided, hey, Washington is my place. It's rainy, it's gray. I can be outside a lot, right? It's weird, right? It's weird, but it reminded me a lot of Norway and Costa Rica in that aspect of,
Hmm.
just weather-wise, right? I got again the right people at the right time. I met my wife in Snohomish, just near my house, in a coffee place. I never thought that it was going to work because she didn't like coffee. And I was like, who doesn't like coffee, right? Like, we went for coffee and she didn't even like coffee. But
Now, is this your first wife, Pablo?
that was my
You're
second
talking.
wife. That was,
So,
yeah,
so you completed your first marriage, and
right.
then you moved to Washington.
And then I moved to Washington, yeah. And then
Okay.
I had my daughter full time. So I was working from home for Amazon and then studying a little bit because I wanted to, just make a better thing. And then I met my second wife, or my now wife,
Your current wife.
my current wife, and she was she was kind of annoying because she liked to go to the gym and she liked to run around and she liked to be all energetic, and I like it too, but I like to do that while I'm doing something. I have to be playing a game. I treadmills and machines and all that stuff. That's not for me.
I'm
Um,
with you, Pablo. I'm with you.
so I remember before COVID, I was having really bad knee pain, right, from the weight, obviously, and
Hmm.
I was not sleeping very well. I went to the doctor, and he was like, "Well, you're gonna have to have this machine to sleep for the rest of your life." I came home, and my wife was like, "Hey, let's go to the YMCA. I mean, you can just walk around on the treadmill." She worked in the YMCA before, so she was part of that community, right? And I was like, man, okay, let's do it, right? And as I'm walking in, I'm already upset because I don't want to be there. And it's kind of funny, you go through, the front desk and everybody's so happy. And I turn around and there's a gym right in the corner right before you go into the terminal. And I was like, oh, I hope like there's basketball or something because I could play a little basketball, right? I mean, I didn't know, I didn't grow with any other sport, but I was like, hey, basketball. And I looked through this small window because it has those little windows like in the classrooms, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I see all these old people playing pickleball, right? But obviously I didn't know what it was, right? It's like, oh, they're just hitting a ball from one side to the other. The funny thing is that they only meet. I think at that point they only met 2 days a week for like an hour and a half because that's how much the gyms were given at that point for that. So I was again right time, right place, right time, right. So I tell my wife like, hey, let me go find out what they're playing, right? And I was like, hey, maybe this will lift my morale about winning on something again, right? So I go in and I meet this amazing individual, Tom Lamoureux. He's well known in our community. I think he's the true ambassador of pickleball in
What's
our
his
area.
name? What's his name?
Tom Lamoureux.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I get there was 2 courts, 8 people playing. There's 6 people sitting. I've never seen so many braces in my life. I've never seen so many special shoes. I make jokes with them after a while, and I tell them like, I think there was about 5,000 years in this gym that day that I walked in. And hey, so I was like, hey, he was like, here, grab a paddle, right? He gave me a paddle that I still have. I love that paddle. I start playing with him, and I still have a little ability, so I'm sliding around and everything and hitting it. I got pickle. That's the first time that I heard the word pickle, right? And I was like, and someone tells me, hey, that's no good. And I was like, what do you mean? It's 11-0. And I was like, oh yeah, that was awful, right? And that was at the beginning. He opened the doors for me. He was super welcoming. He started pickleball again in our community with getting courts, talking to the school districts, even getting to get some courts on the city to open. He passed away a few years ago, but he will always be remembered. I mean, I will never forget what he did for me in our community. He was the president of the club, Marysville Pickleball Club. He wanted me to be on the board because I had understanding on how to run leagues, and it was all crossover from soccer stuff, right? And how to do round robins. And I've always been like, I'm always into things, right? So they brought me into the board. At that point, I guess that was, when COVID was already in the middle of it, right? And I'm thinking myself, hey, I'm not too bad at this. Maybe I'll be a pro one day. That lasted a month. But I told myself, I was like, I really want to compete, right? I'm a competitor. So if I want to compete, I'm going to have to do something about my health. And it's 100 pounds later. Here I am. I mean,
wow.
You dropped 100 pounds.
I dropped 100 pounds. Yeah. It's been a combination of, and it's not really what I do in the pickleball court because I don't move a lot. I make my partner move.
Smart guy.
I tell my mixed partner, I was like, hey, all this, I'll stay right here. I mean, that led to, where I am today with all this stuff involving my family too, my wife and my kids and everybody that I know. It's been difficult. I think pickleball has been it's been a tough road. I think that it grew so fast. Before the Pickleball Kingdom, I became a pickleball director because I saw a need. I used to go to tournaments and pay a lot of money for them and play 45 minutes and I was out, right? And I was like, we should be getting a little bit more out of this. So I started organizing tournaments where players will get more out of it. And if you lost all your games, you still got 5 or 6 games, right? For about the same price, right? And so people start appreciating that, and there are more clubs reaching out to me to run their events. Again, it's been tough. I mean, there's just like everything in life. There's people that it's not very nice in the pickleball community, right? But it's good. It builds character, and I think it helps us understand who we need to help and or how we can help people, right? And I think it kind of happened to me at some point, right? We got better and I forgot where I came from too, right? I was like, hey, why am I not playing with these people anymore, right? I mean, they're not obviously my level, but that was me not long ago, right? I mean, 5 years is a long time ago, but it isn't really that far a long time ago. So I don't know. I started playing tournaments with my wife, and my wife, she is the opposite of athletic when it comes to sports, right? She can walk and she can run 4 miles and she can go on the mountains and do all this crazy stuff. But if I give her sport equipment, she doesn't know what to do with it, right? But pickleball was a good opportunity for us to try it. And, I guess one of the lessons that I got from pickleball is that I started playing with her and I would get frustrated when we were playing against other teams and they realized that she was the less skilled player and they will always hit it to her. And of course it was a tournament, so people is there competing. And I would get mad. I remember one time I broke a paddle of how upset I was that we lost, right? And I told myself, I was like, this is not why I joined pickleball. This is not what pickleball is all about, right? I mean, we're on the court to have a good time. Even when we're competing, I love players that smile, or just have a chuckle after things that happen on the court, right? So I had to have a hard reset. I had to understand that why we do it and who we do it with and for, right? We have to have that clear mind.
it's important, every time we step on the court, we should look at ourselves as an ambassador for the sport, because we don't know the journey or the story of the person on the other side of the court or how it will affect them. Just like you said, if you would have been treated differently that first day when you showed up, you might not have liked pickleball and your story would be different than it is today, right?
Oh, absolutely. And
Right.
I can tell you that, I mean, I had those experiences, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I will walk into a court and they will tell me like, "Hey, you're not good enough to be here, right? Like, you need to scale
Oh,
back, boy, right?" And I mean, I'm not gonna say that I don't hold grudges, but I still remember those times, right?
you
It was
bet.
painful. It is painful, right?
It is.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
Only because I think, obviously, and I agree. Higher level players, they want to have good games, right? But I think that or just in general, we have to make ourselves available to everybody else, and
Yeah.
I think my path is the same path that a lot of people took, right? I became a U.S. pickleball ambassador. I I started to reach out to brands out there to see how they could help the community, because I'm always been into helping children. I'm a middle school teacher too, right? So I I always like to coach kids, right? So I tell Selker, hey, can you send me a, a few dozen paddles so I can give them away to kids, right? And because the beauty of this sport that I try to tell people is, look, this is maybe the only sport where the grandparent can play with his 7-year-old great grandkid or grandkid, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
I
true.
mean, I can do I can do basketball with my son, but he's gonna be faster and stronger than me, right?
Yeah.
I can do basketball with him; he's gonna push me away. But when we're in the pickleball court, uh, one of my best experiences is I was in Arizona, and I'm driving by Gilbert, and I saw this sign that says pickleball tournament, and I'm like, oh, perfect.
Your turn.
Let's go, right? And I go in and I tell him, I was like, hey, do you have any spots? And he was like, oh, I think there's one person who needs someone for a mixed doubles. And so I was like, sure, sign me in. Maggie or Mary, something M, I remember, right? I jump in and I see, they were like, oh, she's right there. And when I look, she's putting her hat and she's tying her shoes. And I come over. At that point, I didn't know. But so she was 93 at that point. Um,
93
this is
years old.
93, right? And this is when I'm still
Wow.
thinking I want to compete, right? And I tell myself, what did I get myself into, right? This is what I'm going to tell you. By the time that we were playing the bronze medal match, I told her, you take care of all this court because I have no business here. She was boom, 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 boom. It was
Wow.
it got to a point where she was super the nicest ever. She told me, she was like, hey, you need to work a little harder on the court. And I'm thinking like, hey, what 93-year-old tells a 35-year-old that he needs to
I love that.
it's one of the best stories that I ever had. And I was like, again, I mean, we don't know, like you say, we don't know where people come from of their history, their past or anything.
Mhm.
I went into the court thinking this is gonna be a bad experience, and it was one of the best experiences ever in my life.
Oh,
And
oh,
I wish that I would have kept her info. I thought that I was gonna be going more to Arizona a little bit more to see her, but it was an inspiration. I was like, well, at least I have a game that I can do for the next 60 years, right? And
exactly.
Right.
so I think that's why I appreciate pickleball in that way, right? Because there could 4 people from different places, from different languages. Sometimes I blurt things out in Spanish that people go like, "Hey, that's a bad word in Spanish." And I was like, "Yeah, but I missed it." it it's it, it I love that part of the sport. It is so inclusive. I've never seen anything like this.
We
Really.
haven't
So
either. It's a level playing field. Once you step
absolutely.
on the court, like doesn't matter your age, your ethnicity, your language, your even your ability. There are groups that help those with different abilities to be able to play the game just like everybody. I mean, it's just an amazing thing. So how did you go from playing pickleball to working with Pickleball Kingdom as a general manager and now as the tournament director as well?
Well, so I think that if I go back when, I was not very nice, or where I lost the understanding of what pickleball was, part of my life, I guess, right? When I was getting mad or breaking the paddle, or just upset about playing with certain people, I did a reset, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna enjoy this sport, right? I feel better now, and I can still compete. I still have friends, so we can go and compete other days. So I started meeting a lot of people, and I started to tell them, my story and what pickleball was all about. The funniest thing is that my core group of people that I have right now, friends that I mean, they're not even friends anymore, they're family, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that I would ever met them under any other circumstance, right? We're talking cultural views, political views, languages, ages. I mean, I have 80-year-old friends. I have 15-year-old Ella. I mean, you met Ella, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes,
I mean,
she was on our show.
Right? And I don't get to meet any of those people without pickleball, right? So
Good point.
I started building those relationships, and when I was listening to her podcast, I appreciate what she does for the community, and how hard she fought to be where she is.
Wow.
Um,
Yeah.
she's one of those witnesses of how hard I've worked to make things better for people, and that led to I was just working my middle school gig, and I had a call from one of the investors at Pickleball Kingdom, and he was like, "Hey, would you like to give this a try?" Right? I mean, I've been trying to tell my wife that I want to work in pickleball for so long, and she keeps rejecting me right away, right? She's very frugal, so she's very scared of it. But I was like, well, I can entertain it, right? I mean, it is still a new industry, and so I met Mara and John, that you also talked to them. Oh my goodness,
Yes.
incredible people, right? And then Ed, one of the investors, the one who brought me in, he was like, "Hey, I really want you to be part of this. People know who you are, and people appreciate how you work with the community and stuff like that." And I appreciate it. It's nice to make a little extra money, but when I tell people, there's really not a lot of money in it, because it's a lot of work. I at least want to enjoy it, right? So now I enjoy when I'm running a tournament. I actually have to take my wife, because she's super, like, also, so it drives her crazy when my papers are everywhere.
She's very organized.
She keeps you organized.
Yeah, a little too much. But I appreciate it, because then she does that, and I can walk around and talk to the community, right? And
Nice.
As much as I love to watch the 5.0s playing and showing some amazing skills, I love to watch those beginners just having a laugh every time that they miss a shot, right? It's like,
yes,
or making a great play, right? There's nothing more exciting than seeing that new player making a great shot where everybody goes, "Yeah," right? And I'm like, there you go. So that's, I think, what made the jump for me. And I also have to, there's a lot of people that I will have to thank for where I am, right? But even vendors, I mean, from the very beginning, Selkirk, I told them what I wanted to do with pickleball, and they're a big company, and all they had to say was like, no, right? I mean, let's not waste our time, and they gave me a chance. So a lot of
Is
people,
that
I'm not going to
Selkirk?
list anybody. Yeah, Selkirk.
Were you
yeah.
saying Selkirk? So what's your connection with Selkirk?
So besides being an ambassador for them, they also provide opportunities for me to acquire some of their products at a lower price, so I can pass it on, to the schools, or to take it to my tournaments, or things like that. So people know that I'm Selkirk only because I'm always, everything is Selkirk. I love
You're
it.
a billboard.
Yeah, no kidding. But
So
I appreciate that. I appreciate
Are
what
you
they
still
done.
teaching?
No, my teaching it's now done.
Okay.
Now
What was the school? Let's do a shout out to your school.
Seattle Country Day in Queen Anne in Seattle.
Nice.
Yeah. I'll have
Seattle
my
Country
kids
Day.
listen to it because I told them that one
For
day I was going to be on
sure.
a podcast.
Yeah.
For sure. They helped you
Yeah.
be the man you are. It's what I figure. These kids, they help us be the people we are. So.
Oh my goodness, yeah, they can drive us crazy sometimes, but it's a good crazy, right? It builds
It's a good
patience.
Good
It builds
crazy. Yeah,
patience. So
for
no.
sure.
Oh my gosh. So you did mention one life lesson. And can you think of any other life lessons that you've gleaned either in your life, maybe as a teacher, that you are using on the court, or life lessons that you discovered on the court that you now use in your life?
Yeah, I think the biggest one, and this one always gets me going, but the biggest lesson is to never underestimate or push away people because you don't think that they meet the requirements to be in the same court as you are, right? We have a friend that Mike. I'm gonna give him Mike a shout out to Mike. Mike, it looks like he just came out of the pool and he shows up on the court and he beats everyone up, right? I show up to the court and you think, oh my goodness, this guy looks like, why is he not playing Tyson McGuffin right now, right? And then terrible at it, right? So again, just allowing people to come into your group, become part of that circle, that community of pickleball. Pickleball is, besides helping you, health in a health way, it also helps you with your emotional health. I mean, I think that just the fact that I have a phone with 400 contacts that I know that I can text for any questions. And now that I'm in the Pickleball Kingdom, I text them like, what would you like to see? And they always have good feedback. Some of them text me in the middle of the night, why are you letting this guy play? He's too high to be playing or too low. All these things. And it always ends with us having a nice conversation about like, oh yeah, I'm in Arizona right now. Oh, I'm in Costa Rica right now. Oh, I'm in Hawaii playing right now, right? So it always starts with some drama and it always ends up with a kind of like a, what are we doing today, right? Which is, it's that connection that we're missing, I think, in society now with technology and working from home and all these things. So I think never say no to someone, even if they don't know how to play. Bring him in, because that person could be the president of the Expedia, or it could be someone who just needs to talk to someone that day, right? I mean, we don't know what pushed them. Right place, right time. That's my mantra now. It's like,
I like that, and not only on the court but in life. Don't make assumptions that this isn't somebody that I can relate to, or this isn't somebody who would understand me. But and I like how you said, sometimes your calls begin with drama but end with this really lovely. It's like how we end the games. We do paddle tap. It's like a hug. No matter how fierce that competition might have been, we are really gentle, enjoying each other. We give hugs and paddle taps.
It's a lesson from pickleball, right? I mean, it's just, and it's also a conversation, right? I mean, now I'm going to visit my mom this weekend, right? And I always have a pickleball thing on it, right? So I'm in the airport in the middle of nowhere, and someone goes like, "Oh, you play pickleball?" Really quick, we were in the middle of Europe. There was an accident in Poland. We were driving from Germany to Poland. There was a big accident in the middle of a freeway. So, everybody's pulling on the side. We started playing pickleball in the middle of the road.
Oh, come on. That is so cool.
and people is like taking pictures, and you can hear people in other languages saying, pickleball. And, so it's kind of weird to go talk to someone in the middle of the road, but
great story.
It leads to things like that, right? To just starting conversations. And a lot of people still don't know pickleball. So I think it is our job to not just bring the sport, but bring what comes with the sport.
The spirit of
communities
the sport.
And friends and all that stuff. Yeah.
the community. Oh my gosh, Pablo, what an amazing story you have. And I am thrilled that you are now both feet in pickleball and Pickleball Kingdom. So, how can people find you? What's the best way to find you online?
Well, so my website is zz2pickleball.com, or just Pablo Granados and Facebook and Instagram, or at the Pickleball Kingdom in Linwood. That's where the one of the facilities is going to be. Yeah, they're going to open several, but that's the one where I'm going to be. So if anybody wants to come and learn pickleball or just sit down and have a drink and talk about anything, I'm always there. It's going to probably end up in a pickleball game because that's
No
how
doubt.
all my conversations end.
I'll meet you on the court.
Yeah. Or on the parking lot. Who knows? I mean,
or in the parking lot or in the middle of the road, wherever.
Yeah. Whatever it is. Yeah. There's always pickleball.
Oh, man. Thank you, Pablo. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your story. Very inspiring. I'm delighted that you're healthy and that you're happy and you're in a marriage that you two are totally in love, and she supports you being in pickleball now, which I love.
Yeah.
And yeah, congratulations.
No, I appreciate
and
it.
no more breaking paddles.
No more breaking
No,
paddles.
no. Oh, no. They're expensive now, too. So,
Yeah.
Boy, you don't even think about it anymore, right?
No. Now it's like, no. Now I softly place it on the ground and then.
Well, thank you so much, Pablo. Thanks for joining us today. Thank you all for being here. And again, thank you for all your support in keeping this podcast up and running. And we just love having you a part of our Life Lessons from Pickleball community. Thank you all, and we look forward to a new conversation next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
If you love our podcast, we'd be so grateful if you'd take a few seconds to follow or subscribe to Life Lessons from Pickleball. This ensures you'll never miss an episode and helps us continue these wonderful conversations.
On Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen, go to the show page and tap the follow button in the top right corner. And on YouTube, click the subscribe button under any of the episodes.
Thanks so much. Hope to see you on the court.